Okay, so today we are working with rational expressions. These are fractions with a polynomial in the top and bottom. So what I first want to do with these is I want to simplify them. So I want to factor them out and then cancel out any terms that I have on both the top and bottom. If I cancel out a term, I have to set it not equal to 0 because it's going to create a hole in my domain, because you can't normally have 0 on the denominator. So if I had originally plugged the wrong number into the equation, it could give me a 0 on the denominator. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to factor. So I'm looking for what multiplies to negative 12 and adds to positive 4 on my numerator. 6 and negative 2. Okay. Then on the bottom, what does that factor to? 3 and then parentheses x minus 2, because I can factor out that 3. Okay. So do I have any terms that are in common on the top and bottom? Okay, so I'm going to cancel those out, but also, while I'm doing that, I want to do x minus 2 doesn't equal 0, because if I had originally plugged in the answer to this, it would give me a 0 on the denominator, which isn't true. Which is undefined. So then I just solve this equation, so I'm going to start by adding 2 to both sides. I get x equals 2. Then what I want to do now is I want to rewrite this without the pieces I've canceled out. So I'm just going to have x plus 6 on my numerator and 3 on my denominator. Then I also, I should have not equaled 2. Then I also at the same time want to write my domain restriction that x can't equal 2. So this whole thing is my final answer. So on this one, the typo, it should say x squared minus 9x plus 4. So I'll rewrite this off to the side. Okay? So just like before, guys, stop talking. I'll give you a seating chart tomorrow. So just like before, I want to factor my numerator and my denominator. On the top, I also want it written in standard form. So I'm going to write my x squared out front, but notice how it's negative. I want to pull out that negative. And I'm going to pull out a negative 1. So then I'm going to write x squared, because negative x squared divided by negative 1 is positive x squared. Positive x divided by negative 1 is negative x. Positive 12 divided by negative 1 is negative 12. And then, that should be 2x squared on the bottom. Then I'm going to leave the bottom alone for now. So then what I want to do is I want to start factoring these. So my numerator, I'm still going to have that -1 out front. What multiplies to -12 and adds to -1? -4 and +3. Okay, so then my numerator, this one is not as easy to factor because I have a number out front. So I'm going to use my AC method here. So I'm going to start off by labeling my A, B, and C values. Okay. So then I want to do A times C, which is 8. So I'm looking for what multiplies to 8 and adds to -9. -8 and -1. So I am going to work off to the side here. I am going to rewrite that 2x squared part. And then I'm going to split the -9x into -8x minus x. And then it's still plus the 4 at the end. Okay. Then I want to break this up into my two groups. So what can I factor out of my first group? 2x. And 2x squared divided by 2x is -8x divided by 2x. -4x. On my second group, what can I take out? So get me, ooh, why did I put a 4x in that first group?
Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation. The lockdown is over. You may return to your teaching.
Okay. So now what do I want to do after this step? Combine them. So I get 2x minus 1 in one group and x minus 4 in the other. So I'm going to go ahead and write that on the denominator of my fraction. Okay, so what can I cross out here? X minus 4. So I want to take the x minus 4 and set that not equal to 0. Which will give me x can equal 4. Then I I just want to rewrite everything that wasn't canceled out. So I'm going to have negative x plus 3. I don't have to write that one out front, because negative 1 and negative mean the same thing. Then on the denominator, I just have 2x minus 1. And then I say x can't equal 4.